We're acting like a four-letter network right now. We're showing our biases. We forgot to get to the ESPN layoffs last week.
Yes,
and I kind of want to look at this ESPN conversation as a bigger picture conversation, right? I just don't want to talk about the fucking layoffs because, between the two of us, we don't really care about the layoffs, probably outside of Jeff Van Gundy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of them niggas are replaceable parts. We know that. We've watched the worldwide leader our entire life, and bitches, they come, they go, Saturday through Sunday, Monday. What song is that?
Superman, Eminem.
Yeah, exactly. So that's ESPN. You know what I mean? And they they're Superman. It's a sports game, if we're being honest.
They are.
Remember 142. I'm trying to find a fucking pin.
142. Oh, 142. Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. But, excuse me. So, a lot's been going on with ESPN, and we're going to take a holistic look at ESPN, and maybe it's the downfall of ESPN. And this is where we go from sports to culture, but we're going to use sports to talk about the culture, okay?
Okay.
So, there's a lot going on at ESPN. There's various personalities that have been there that are working. There are other personalities who have showed up who aren't working to sports fans, but they may be working to other folks, right? And you never know what the goal of a sports network is that's owned by a television network that's owned by Mickey Mouse, okay? There's so many, it's competing influence, right? Influences around the entire world that come with ESPN. So ESPN has shifted from what we grew up on ESPN as being. It was a sports network that pretty much delivered sports news and sports history.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we got a little bit older, they started to do some sports debate, sports discussion, but you can still watch Sports Center all day, turn it on ESPN2 and watch NFL Live or Baseball Tonight all fucking day, right? Just repeats of the same show. And you get your cold pizzas, your around the horns, your PTIs, right? But even still in their infancy, that was a small window. The majority of the day was a sports news show, whether it was Sports Center or the sport that was in season show.
Correct.
And people get more interested in sports and interested in the conversations around sports. And then you see First Take becomes a thing. And it's like 2.5, 3 hours. And then you have another show that is the same, that has the same topics as First Take.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another hour, 2 hours, and then it goes into the PTI around the horn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you find the network that, again, is out here to make money and add dollars, but they start to pivot away from delivering sports news to delivering sports conversations. And sports news is like reading an article, reading the encyclopedia, where somebody who's credible is covering what happened fairly objectively, and you are just pulling from that information to build your own thoughts and opinions from it. Or sports talk is you reading an editorial, you reading a column where a nigga's telling you how they feel about some stuff, and you are building your fact base off of somebody else's opinion base. You know what I mean? And ultimately, I think this is leading to the demise of the ESPN network. Because as much as debate TV is entertaining for the casual fan, I don't think true sports fans likes it. And ESPN and most networks, most platforms are allowing ratings to drive content instead of allowing content to make ratings. So when you allow ratings to drive the content, you talk about LeBron, you talk about Tom Brady, you talk about the Cowboys, you talk about Steph Curry, you talk about Dame when nothing has unfolded in the Dame situation, honestly, in 2 fucking weeks. Instead of you just got Woj out here giving fake ass reports, not literally fake.
I'm told that the Blazers will not budge, but Dame will not budge either. So I guess this thing is just going to come down to training camp. He just looks around. But I'll probably have an update of the same update the next time we have to talk about updates.
And
I'm going to ask them again, and they're going to tell me the same thing again. And I'm just going to start formulating trades in my head and maybe talk about it with you guys, and then Wendy can take it from there.
And listening to Marcellus Wiley, because Marcellus Wiley, who has worked at ESPN and worked at Fox and played in the NFL, he be giving up the behind the scenes shit because he talked about recently the time he got in trouble for breaking the Jim Harbaugh to Michigan story. He had a source, send it to him. He was like, bruh, no, he's not. Then the source like text him the contract. While he's on air, the signed contract, he reports the story on air, but tongue in cheek, not like breaking news. He goes something, and he works it in. Apparently, Shefty's asshole gets tight, and is like, "What the fuck, dude? Like that's my job. I'm supposed to break the story." He gets pulled in. He has to go give an apology for breaking a story. Yeah, this is nuts, dog. Listen to this shit. ESPN is making a nigga apologize for getting a scoop while he's live on air and breaking the story. That tells you how flawed the news cycle is because apparently Shefty had the story and they were milking the Harbaugh content for days before they actually broke the story. These niggas are frauds.
Well, it's ABC, Disney, ESPN. I mean,
we're not going to be able to see this podcast them.
Do you think? Yeah, I guess this would kill any chance if podcasts were ever. Well, they do kind of do podcasts on YouTube. But either way,
oh, they won't sell it.
I mean, what
kind
of
how much money we make? They're not going to buy us.
What kind of story do you think they're telling in these Disney movies too? I mean, these are things that just aren't true. That are not realistic.
Well, in some of these newer movies, they're telling things that my kid will not be learning.
I'm still going to go to Disney World with my daughter, but
that's different.
Yeah, she wants to see Mickey Mouse in person.
But I think some of these movies are starting to get a little too political or blatantly political, because I think Disney has always used its kids' movies to make stances, but they were way more subtle.
Yeah. Point being, it's a weird aura in which since we're talking about that 4-letter network, let's talk about that Malika Andrews video because I know you saw it too.
I mean, she's part of this conversation. Yeah.
Is it not interesting?
Why does she not? Why does she not get left? Why does she not go? Like, bring Jalen back. Send Malika packing.
Well, I obviously, what it feels like Malika has some sort of control, and I don't know if she's fucking somebody. And maybe I shouldn't be saying that because
maybe she's good at her fucking job.
Nah, man, I think she's hot, and I don't think she's that good at her job because there were too many instances. It's not just that video. We watch it. We see her daily. If you're watching ESPN, you see her daily. But
the video has summarized our conversations about Malika Andrews.
Correct.
That video was just a nice, this is what we say about her. Thanks, video.
Right.
Where do you want to go, Malika Andrews? Because I think she deserves some of our time because Malika Andrews don't care about black people.
Right. That's really what we're getting at. Because she don't.
Like, Malika Andrews is and this is me being misogynistic for a second, right? And it's tongue in cheek.
For those out there that didn't realize it.
Yeah, Malika Andrews, hot woman. I should listen to what she has to say, even if I don't care, because she's hot.
Which is my point. She doesn't have a job without it.
Malika Andrews, talking sports. A woman who I have not talked sports with to prove to me that she actually follows sports in a way to have an intelligent conversation. I don't want to listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've learned that if you want to watch Malika Andrews on TV, you just mute it. You just look at the TV and don't listen to her. And you get the best of both worlds. Nice visuals, no audio.
Who, Malika?
I mean, yeah, same with my wife, though, you know. Good visuals, no audio.
Malika?
But no, and here's why I shit on Malika, because I am not one who thinks that women should not talk about sports. There are obviously intelligent women who can speak sports, a la Jackie McMullen.
One of my favorites growing up, especially on Around the Horn. Like, she was great. And she had pieces in ESPN.com.
She's done some work with the Ringer since she's like retired. You got Jemele Hill. Like, I enjoyed Jemele Hill back in her day. I don't look for Jemele Hill because there's so much sports that I consume. I didn't like her that much, but I'm not cutting it off because Jemele Hill's giving me a sports take. Like, no, like shit. Mina Kimes, who we were just talking about earlier.
Yeah, I like Mina. I think Mina's one of the brighter like ones.
She's a great football analyst, you know, from the media side of it. You know what I mean? Ramona Shelburne. I'm not a Ramona fan because of the article that she wrote about the Clippers old owner's wife. What's her name? What's his name? Donald Sterling's ex-wife. She pretty much wrote an article framing her like as a victim of his racist behavior, and she was just like not complicit into the lifestyle, and she was ignorant to it. So I'm like, yo, stop playing this white victimhood here. Like, she knew her husband was a dirty racist, and she enjoyed making millions and billions off of it. But nonetheless,
and he was a cheater
and a slumlord.
Right. I mean, basically, he was just a rich person, and that's what she cared about. Because if he wasn't rich, she maybe wouldn't have put up with all that.
Yeah, so back to Malika Andrews. If she wasn't hot, we wouldn't put up with all of that.
Exactly. It all comes full circle. Literally.
If you have that one important thing, you're fine.
That being the most important in some cases.
One thing, I got to grab my laptop charger. But keep going in on Malika because we've been nice to her so far.
I think that Malika ultimately is someone that got on board. She's attractive. Obviously, she can speak very well. And she has a reporter anchor type cadence about herself that makes her, able to kind of do this and do it at a high level. Because even the way that video broke it down, her rise to ESPN was really quick. I mean, come on. How did it become that quick? She gets out of school, interned for ESPN for like 1 year, and then was immediately like thrown into the spotlight. And I don't know. Her rise came really quickly. She is clearly really young. She's younger than both of us. And so, like,
when you take Viagra, you get a rise way more quicker than you do naturally.
Exactly. And so, I don't know. I think that her rise came relatively quick, which is why, like I said, I made the statement and I'll stick by it. She, she's on because she's hot. And so,
hey, let's really break down that piece of it, right? Because when you start talking about hosting, especially hosting a sports show and kind of moderating a conversation, your job really isn't to provide like astute analysis. And when you do your little one-on, hey man, I got to complain about the chips last week. Still was a bad audio experience. I meant to talk about it in pre-production. Totally forgot. But nonetheless, when you are hosting a show and it's not like a comedic show, you are just introducing topics, giving like a very general synopsis, and then going to the people who are supposed to do the talking, you know, Kendrick Perkins and Dick Jefferson.
Yeah.
Dick Jeff, excuse me.
Right.
Dick Jeff.
Jeff is the one that coined that phrase, Dick Jeff.
Bro, I thought he was calling Jeff Van Gundy a dick.
No.
Until I realized he goes, oh, no, he's talking about Richard Jefferson. I'm slow.
Right. Because nobody calls him Dick. But you can if you kind of want to.
I would like to run into him in the airport. I'm like, Dick Jeff.
What's up, Dick?
But anyways, I'm not saying her job is the easiest because you do have to bring these guys in. But I don't think she's shown, she's not better at TV than Joy. Joy's been given her own
pounds.
She had a few too. And she's at the better network. She's LA based, where they actually get to talk shit.
She's at the Better Living Network.
Well, yes. The network you'd rather work at if you're established.
Yes. Which is what everybody kind of chose to do, right? So I just think that with Malika, they cleared out Kari.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was granted, they weren't on the same level, but Jamil Hill, of course, was at one point hosting fucking 6 p.m. Sports Center, but
6.
The 6, right? But they got rid of all these people. They've gotten rid of so many people, and Rachel Nichols was the longtime girl for the Jump.
They got Michelle Beadle out of there. Question. Do you think that Malika is a bootlicking trustee who will carry the network's water no matter what it is, which is why she gets to stay around? Because she actually won't stand on anything, because she cares more about being on TV than saying anything on TV, because, again, she's not really on TV to say anything. I guess it's not her.
Well, here's the thing. She doesn't have to do it if she doesn't want to, because I think now she's gained enough notoriety where she could get a job anywhere else. Or if she wanted to, she could do something even as left field as an OnlyFans if she really wanted and make more money.
Hold on. Doing what? Who the fuck is listening?
You could just take pictures.
Who the fuck is listening to? Who? Dog, are you listening to Malika Andrews' podcast?
No, but I said OnlyFans.
Oh, well, she's too classy for that.
Well, that's the way she prints herself, but that's why if she ever did it, she'd make way more than she's made a year.
So let's hit some specific reasons why we actually don't fuck with Malika Andrews. Because she's not the only hot woman,
bro. She's snarky.
Well, yeah, she's not the only attractive woman who's on TV who is not there to talk.
But she's so notable
because she's snarky, right? When she came on First Take during the Ime Udoka situation.
Yeah, bro. What was all that about?
And Stephen A is yo, this is bullshit. This, what he did happens in the league all the time, and it doesn't get out. I know this for a fact because people tell me stories, but y'all gonna air him out.
And I've been doing this long enough.
Yeah, this ain't right. She goes, Stephen A, you are not gonna blame women for this. Nobody blamed women for anything. And if we're being honest, if this was a married woman, she is more to blame than the not married man for having an affair.
Well, that is how it's an affair. Ime Udoka just cheated on his girlfriend / baby mama. I mean,
that don't count.
They weren't married. Well, they weren't married.
Yeah, it counts differently.
Hey, when he files his taxes, you know what he says? Sing. Because that's what the law recognizes him as. Now, she was married, which she was, I believe, right?
Yes.
She don't want to step out on her marriage. He just was, he just said, fuck the famous girlfriend. I mean, what are we getting at?
I mean, but I'm getting at Malika Andrews talking about don't blame women here. And
I'm saying what I didn't mean you. I meant literally like what was Malika trying to get at? Like
I don't know, because if you ever go into an argument saying we're not going to blame a certain group of people, then I'm not like, what are we talking about? Because if we're not going to look at the facts objectively and then apply blame to the person and not look at it from a race point of view, a sex point of view, a gender point of view, whatever the fuck point of view, it's like, hey, nah, she cheated on her husband. And the Celtics some hoe ass niggas for letting this shit out, because that shit usually don't get out. You just fire him or you punish him.
Misconduct, and then there's speculation about what the misconduct was.
Bingo.
And even crazier with that, Malika Andrews reminds me so much of Gabrielle Union in Deliver Us from Eva. I don't know why. Have you seen that movie? You've seen that movie, right?
It's been a minute. But she sucked in that movie.
Such a bitch, basically, for the movie. That was her role. Be a bitch, but professional, but like so against men. Almost like I'm not gay, but I'm preserving myself. Like I'm not a lesbian, like, but I act like I'm one, but I'm not, and I'm hot, like I'm attractive, but I'm so into my job and I'm thorough. Like I'm just like I'm like. She reminds me very much so of that.
Yeah, and I just don't know. It puts Stephen A in a bad position, right? Because when people say that Stephen A is carrying the white man's water, which I don't believe that he's doing, I think he's older, more traditional, and some of his views are off, but I don't think he's carrying the white man's water at ESPN. I don't think he's a company man. I thought he was for a while, but I'm like, nah, I don't think he's a company man. But it makes a guy like Stephen A look bad, because Stephen A speaks on everything from that platform. And because Malika is one of the premier black faces on that platform as well, they get tied together just because they're close, and like close in proximity, not close in relationship. And it takes away from what he's actually doing for Black America, because yo, she brought up Joe Mazzulla's fucking charges while he was in college. Like he was charged for underage drinking, but he wasn't convicted. Well, did you drink in college as a freshman? If you did, shut the fuck up. Draft night. Well, Brandon Miller was a part of. He was in the car where there were capital mark. Like, well, is he getting charged? He's a cooperating witness. Then shut the fuck up. What are we talking about, man? This is the greatest night in this dude's life. And when his family's watching this from home, they're hearing you bring up probably the worst part of his life.
Well, and if there's ever anything that runs through it again, like this is the commentary before I get drafted.
Yeah, like right after I got drafted.
It's supposed to be my moment, and it is my moment, and you're just one person, but like still, if we wanted to save the VHS, whatever, like if we wanted to save this is the talk before I get selected. So now we have to cut it off to Commissioner Silver's about to make the pick. And then that be it, as opposed to 6'8" stretch, 6'8" small forward, versatility, can score at all three levels, led Alabama to their best record. They were number one in the country, highest drafted Alabama player ever. Instead, now it's Joe Mazzulla, like that type of shit. Like,
yeah, bro. It's like what's your point? And what?
He's like part of a murder, like, and she's just looking at the camera.
He's a cooperating witness in a capital murder investigation where he was in the car provided. We've talked about Malika Andrews and Tyler. ESPN let a lot of people go. And I can hear myself in my ear. That's weird. ESPN let a lot of good people go. They let a lot of people who I think aren't best for the network stay. But back to the top of it is when you allow ratings to drive the content and not content to drive the ratings, this is what you get because this gets ratings. Guess what? Malika shitting on black people and in their best moments makes us talk about that network more than we normally would.
Exactly.
The wild stuff that Perk says makes us talk about the network more than we would.
But that's why he's still on board.
Yeah, Jalen Rose, he doesn't give you anything to respond to because he gives pretty good analysis.
Well, that and then I'm Jalen Rose. He's like, I would like to apologize. He has those moments too.
Yeah, that was a bullshit apology too.
Well, it was forced. Somebody at the network walked in. There was a suit that walked over there and was like this.
The same suit. The same suit.
Just like this.
Probably Malika's mentor at the network.
Well, Malika was like, when it happened and like he's looking at the boss man, Malika's like looking like this around. Look, Malika's like, thank you. Like this motherfucker acts like he's never been on TV before.
It's like, Malika, I've been on TV a long time. I'm Jalen Rose. What up, bro?
Talked on it.
Fab 5, baby.
Well, a bunch of niggas named Jalen because of me.
Like, I might be the coolest non-all-star ever.
And Kobe dropped 81 on my head. But
he didn't put all 81 on me, though.
Well, of course he didn't. Nobody does, right? Wilt didn't drop 100 on one plumber. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying he gave him I tell you what, he gave him a full game's worth of not even half the league's career highs, you know.
Hey, don't get.
Frozen Lee. Oh, now you're back. Now
let's see.
There we go.
Is there anything else you want to talk about ESPN?
I don't have anything else.
The Breakfast Club is toast, man.
I haven't seen it, so I have to imagine that they are.
Here's why. You remember when we cared about what the Breakfast Club had to say, like on a daily to weekly basis?
Absolutely.
I went, and this goes back to ratings driving content and not content driving ratings. I watched the Vivek Ramaswamy interview, and I had no intention of watching it, and I came across a video of people who were like responding to it, and I go, just keep saying this dude owned the Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club is probably the biggest black media platform in America. You know, they've had Joe Biden on there, Hillary Clinton, and stuff like that. Barack Obama, smart. No reason to go on there and talk to them dumbass niggas because he ain't pander to no dumb niggas.
Oh, you mean like our current president, right?
I don't speak about him.
Then you ain't black.
I took the bait. But no, so like it kind of bothers me, it alarms me, it scares me that the most prolific black media platform is dumb. Like they can talk about the mess, the tea, the shade. They can intelligently talk about music and entertainment. But they cannot have a well-versed political conversation. And they will talk about the black agenda, which I don't even believe in, but they'll talk about like the desires and needs of black people to politicians as if standing firmly on black matters gets you elected. You know what I mean? It's like if you say, I'm going to give black people reparations, I'm going to fight to ensure that black people get reparations. You're not getting elected on that. Not nationally.
No.
And this chick they have on there, she's an Air Force veteran, and she's talking to Vivek, and she's like, so what type of service have you done? He goes, well, I started a business that created these medications that did this, did that. You know, she goes, no. I don't care about what you did to make money. I care about what service did you do.
Right.
Honestly, I haven't done much service. I did some in high school at a hospital. But I only did that to try to get into college. See, I struggle with that because I served the country. I would have said, you ain't served the country for free. You got paid, didn't you? You got some good benefits. Did you buy your house with a VA loan?
What? So wait, this is on it. This is a recent episode of The Breakfast.
Yeah, I watched it last weekend.
Wait, it wasn't about the Diddy thing, was it? Just like Black Service Network thing.
No, I don't. No, hell no. I just added that for later.
Oh,
but no, like it's a potential candidate for the presidency, and she's like, "Well, have you worked in local government? Were you in part of your student council in high school?" Like, hey, yo, shorty, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't have to be a career politician to be a president. If you've been a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, you can run the fucking country, because guess what you've learned how to do is get a good staff, get smart people around you who know what the fuck you don't know to make you smarter on it, but you trust them enough to make the fucking decisions. And I really hate that the Breakfast Club has become the voice of Black America, because they're fucking stupid. Like, you don't know shit about the political system. You go, well, why should Black people believe in the American political system? Because of what it's done to Black America over all these years. Well, dog, it's the fucking political system. Like, dog, you ain't got to believe in it, but if you ain't going to actually do some radical shit to change it, you got to figure out how to motherfucking...
Now you're just creating more conversation.
Like, you got to figure out how to utilize the system to give you what you're looking for. Because if you just going to sit up here and say, well, maybe we should vote, what the fuck that mean? So the other people who have separate interests from you are going to choose the candidate, and you have no fucking say in who leads the country. But if you're just waiting to fucking vote, then you're done. You know what I mean? You need to be politically engaged throughout. You need to do grassroots shit. You need to donate money. Yeah, you got to pay to play around here. You know what I'm saying? John's Nightwalkers, baby. Join the team. There's a reason why John's pay Nightwalkers, because they want something from them. And they want it in the way that they kind of want it, and not the way that the Nightwalkers want to give it. No. Because when you're a John, you get to set the conditions, right? You get to create the boundaries. But these dumbass niggas get on here, they have a conversation with a guy, and then they make Black people in America look even stupider because they ain't got nothing smart to say in a political conversation that does not take into the national considerations of what you have to do to win the presidency. I said, well, what you gonna do for Black people? What you gonna do for Black people?
Right.
Yeah, tell me what you're gonna do for Black people, but I don't give a fuck about what you're gonna do for Black people if what you doing can't win the fucking nomination.
Exactly. And that's the issue, though. We are the only people that sit up and talk. And at least I tell you what, more so to present day talk only.
Boy, niggas love to talk.
But we don't want to actually, like you said, if there's a change, if Charlemagne or Envy wants to, because for what it's worth, and to a degree, they are people of power because they can reach so many, right? But they're just sitting up and they're just saying like, well, this, and it's just like they don't really have solutions for anything. And realistically, a lot of the things that they like to talk about, it does not affect them. It may have affected them at one point in life, but because it doesn't anymore, it's really like background noise. I mean,
it's lip service. It's Angelique's podcast. Them niggas just up there saying some shit to keep their viewers happy, but they don't give a fuck about that shit. Them niggas vote Republican. They live in New York. They want low taxes.
Exactly. But you know, and that's one of the things, I don't know if you remember this, but during the pandemic, that was the first thing I said. I was like, if NBA players, when they were talking about boycotting and doing that, I'm like, now they're just taking away joy from all of us and the gamblers too. But like, you're just taking away joy from us because it already sucks. We're sitting at home. We can't really do anything. You're just taking away joy from us. If you guys really want to take a stance, man, I wouldn't talk about anything. I wouldn't talk about the game. I would repeat the same message. Like there are ways of being effective because people will get tired of it and then they'll be like, man, give them what they want. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, but stopping to not play games for one day and then going back out and playing and putting on t-shirts, like it's a nice gesture and it shows the camaraderie and unity of the league to do something like that.
Fuck that bullshit. That camaraderie.
But outside of what I'm saying, what does it do?
It's fucking symbolism. Let's be real. I look at you. You are a black business owner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do, and you know that where I work and in the position that I'm in, it's dominated by white people.
Whites only pies.
We are doing more for racial justice in America than a nigga wearing a fucking t-shirt at a basketball game.
Yeah.
Than a fucking ESPY speech. You know what I'm saying? Because you are a black man who owns a business, which then means you have an asset that is yours where you get to create. You are, for one, making money that goes into Black America.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to set the conditions of how you run your company, and you can aid black people in a way that some companies may not. Not to say that you have biases that may positively affect black people, not accusing you of anything.
No.
But there are ways that your implicit bias can impact how you conduct business.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, you're a black business owner.
Correct.
Most of my peers are white. You know what I get to do? I get to show that white people who think that niggas who act like niggas are stupid, that niggas who act like niggas still know their shit when they actually care about it. But the stuff that you see is people in their off time and you trying to apply that to them in a professional environment. It's like, nigga, no.
Exactly.
I don't do this at work, but you don't hang out with me at work. You see me at the club. You see me at the bar. You see me in Walmart in some Nike slides and some sweatpants, and I ain't combed my hair in 2 days because I ain't left my fucking house.
Right.
And then you step on the back of my foot, and I be like, hey, nigga, it's your fucking problem. And you go, why are you so aggressive?
Hey, nigga, squeeze that.
Right. So, not to shit on the Breakfast Club for having these conversations, but like Jay-Z said and pissed all you liberal niggas off, we beyond kneeling. It's not that the kneeling doesn't have an impact. It's not that the conversations don't have a fucking impact. But if you only talking, you ain't doing shit. Because, hey, dog, if you ain't Oprah, your words don't make money. Your conversation don't make money.
And these are facts. And that's the thing. If there's anyone that wants to, if you want to hold anyone accountable in the black community, within the black community, hold those niggas accountable. Those are the ones that really, if there's some shaking that can be done, it's by them. Anyway.
Bro, Charlemagne the God is a fucking sellout. His Black Effect podcast network that he talks about that he owns,
yeah,
is in conjunction with iHeart. Do you think you think if iHeart drops him because he said some crazy shit on air, you think his network still exists?
No. It wouldn't exist at all.
But I want you to know this, Parlay Pete. When this thing blows up, we will partner, but nobody will ever own this IP. They don't talk on this microphone. I will gladly take less money or no money. I won't sell the IP for this.
Right.
Now, there are business ideas that I have. I will sell that shit the fuck out.
Well, and certainly that's why too, especially when stuff is made, because if it's put into a corporation, LLC, whatever, you can still sell pieces of it. It's not like that's not possible.
I
And
can
you
sell
still have the majority control, and you ultimately make the final say so because you own the majority of it.
I will never sell the IP. Nobody will ever be able to take these clips, the audio, this audio visual, and make it the way they want to make it outside of what I believe in.
And that's what it's all about too. And that's why it's not being a sellout. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of that. And it doesn't mean selling it and getting its worth or selling it for over its worth. It's just more of a
influence.
It has more of a meaning than money to me.
Joe Budden means more to me than Charlemagne the God because Joe Budden owns his own shit.
And he was able to walk away from something that was at his time, I guess, kind of his peak, was considered the best and kind of not the first, but like it was different. And it was through.
He was the first like major black podcast to sign with like somebody.
Well, I mean, I'm saying before he even did the podcast, just what he was for Complex. Like,
oh yeah, like he took a show to Complex, they designed it, and then when Complex was doing shit with his show that he didn't want to do, he said, "Oh, my contract's up, I'm out."
Yeah.
But then he also said, "I'm not giving y'all niggas my IP again," because that was his show that he created. Complex did what they did, and then they kept it going without him. The show's dead now. 3
that doesn't even exist anymore, does it?
No. But long story short, black people, we got to own our own shit. And Parlay Pete, you got to sign out here. I'm going to do a rant on billionaires buying black influence, kind of a spinoff of our Michael Rubin conversation, because I was inspired.
I really wish I could be a part of it too.
I know. I was inspired by DJ Academics because Big Act, I think he is the best black voice in entertainment media who can also speak intelligently about stuff. And before you go, he talked about how, why is Meek on Twitter asking niggas how to develop an app, but he's cool with Michael Rubin? Like, if you're cool with all these billionaires, why are you asking Twitter for help? Why are you and these billionaires who are allegedly your friends not helping you design the businesses and the business ideas that you want to? Because that's why y'all say y'all are with them. But instead they give y'all some fucking peanuts to promote their shit. You ain't fucking their daughters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I say, hey, you know, this guy right here, I think he'd be great for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could go to these parties and they embarrass you and hug you and shit and do like compromising stuff that you would never do. And y'all do that there because they're billionaires. But so I'm gonna kind of go in on that for probably a good 10 minutes and then call it a show.
Well, I will certainly be tuning into the rest of that. Well, I will listen to it, especially I got a long flight tomorrow. So I look forward to hearing it. I appreciate you as always. And yeah, man, let's make it a date again next week.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. All right, AC Lee. Take care, sir.
I'll let you parlay, Pete.
All right, brother.
Yep. All right, so let me see. Got my little baby stuff in the background. Let me try to make this background look as good. I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take a shot before I get hot. So obviously, Michael Rubin had his party. The whole world saw. All the superstars are there. Jay and Beyonce can show up to Michael Rubin party, but they can't show up to the BET Awards. Speaks to the issues we have in Black America. I don't want to hear you talking about you're trying to elevate Black America, but when events are hosted by Black America, you don't make yourself available, okay? You knew when the BET Awards were. Beyonce could have crafted her tour to make sure she was in LA at that same time, a little bit before, a little bit after, if it was that important to her, because she received awards, because she had an album. Then you see the pictures kind of come out. You got like the weird hugging stuff with Lil Baby and Meek. Meek feeling weird about Lil Baby just doing it. You got Meek investing in Lids. It's part of Fanatics, owned by Michael Rubin. You got Kyle Kuzma saying, you can hug me at any time. And it's just weird stuff, man. It's super weird stuff. And if that's the boat that you're in, if you're there to hang out, party, cool. I have no problem with that. But what I truly believe is happening is that these super influential billionaires are using the true influencers in the Black community to purchase equity in Black America to advance their causes without giving a reasonable return to Black America. They will pay the influencers, and bro, it's great business. It's great business on their part. My issue is not with them, because at the end of the day, if I were a billionaire and I wanted to have influence in a certain community, I would align myself with the influencers in those communities, try to manipulate them to do what I want them to do in order to get what I want. That's fucking life. But it's odd. And it's only odd because you have these individuals in Black America saying they stand with the Black Lives Matter sentiment, not necessarily the cause. They stand on prison reform, free my dogs, let's clean up the neighborhood. But y'all are doing absolutely nothing to back up what you're saying. Because if you were truly interested in improving the situation of Black America and not improving your personal situation, you wouldn't do that shit. You would say, hey, dog, if you want me here, I need you to do this. If I Meek Mill, I'm not saying, hey, Twitter, I need somebody to help me develop an app. I'm going to say, hey, Michael Rubin, here's my business plan. Here's what I'm trying to do. Help me find the investors, because you know them. Here's how much money I need to raise. Cut the check. Help me cut the check. Robert Kraft, you invest in other businesses. Invest in my shit. But it takes me to something I read where back in the days of like your ancient Rome's, right? The leadership will have everybody come to the Coliseum and watch this entertainment only to distract them from what's really going on in the world. And at the end of the day, our entertainers are nothing but court jesters. Oh, ha, 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 ha. You are funny. You can come to my party, but you can't sit at my dinner table. Ha, 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 ha. I love your jokes. I love your music, but I'm not going to invest into your company. You can invest in mine. You could be a spokesperson for me. But there's this conversation about equity and what is equity. And guess what? Black America, we've had so little equity in what controls our lives that we take the capital and say, fuck the equity. Because we can't even think about the long term that comes with equity, with ownership. It's mine. And I'm not telling you to go from the slums to I'm only going to be self-employed, I won't work for nobody. No, I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you to get your funds up and get it up at a time in a way that works for you. But once you get up and you can go independent, you should go independent if you care about Black America like you say you do. If you're Jay-Z, if you're Kanye, if you're a billionaire, if you're a high 100s millionaire, Dr. Dre, Diddy, who may be a billionaire too. I don't know your actual finances. Why are you not making moves to own what you do? Shout out to Revolt. Why don't we have black people owning teams that black people make money for? Why don't we have black people owning venues that black people make money in? If we unionize, if we come together and we own the spaces in which we exceed in, you may take a pay cut early, but I'm speaking to those who are already up, who can afford a pay cut temporarily. It's going to come back because guess what? Jay will sell out the arena. Drake will sell out the show. Meek will get some people there. Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Clubhouse, Snapchat, you name the app. If you are one who brings the people to the show, why not own the fucking show? Why not take the risk? I'm not saying off the rip you got to put all 12 eggs in that one basket, but shit, put 4, put 5, put 6, put 7, put 8. But no, we're going to take these compromising pictures. I bet you if I tried to hug little baby, he'd tell me get the fuck back. What the fuck wrong with you, little nigga? You don't smoke sus ass shit, little nigga. That's what he'll say to me. If I'm a billion up, oh, it's okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. And these billionaires are just buying black influence. Another example of cracker crumbs, they give you a little bitty crumb that you think is going to fill you up and not realize you got a full palate. Give me the whole charcuterie board. I don't want to be, no, I'm not the crackers. I'm the crackers, I'm the salami, I'm the cheese, I'm the dip, I'm the carrots, I'm the celery, I'm the cucumber, I'm the hummus. Moment of silence. And as I built this platform, will I partner with somebody? Sure. I'll still own my content. I won't be muzzled by anybody I go in business with. I won't not continue to espouse my views, express my views, fight the fight for the cause that I care about because of somebody I'm in business with. Guess what? We shouldn't do business together. But back to the Breakfast Club, we got to stop talking. We're done kneeling. We're done putting a fist in the air. We've got to turn our words into actions because if we're just talking, cash talking bullshit walk, show me the money, show me the infrastructure. And if I'm 50% of your profit, I should own 50%. And if you're not going to give me 50%, I will put my money down. So I can own 100% of what I do. Because I believe in what I believe in. If you don't believe in what I believe in, if you don't stand for what I stand for, if you're not going to allow me to be me and influence what I want to influence, ain't nothing to talk about.